and welcome to the daily English news program on Azərbaycan Television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, Rəsmi. Azerbaijan continues to translate into practical playing the prospects on the post-conflict period, which were shaped by the victory in the Patriotic War. Restoration of the cities liberated from the occupation and the revival of infrastructure, which are an integral part of President Ilham Aliyev's Great Return program, are already being confirmed in practice, and Armenia is still trying in various ways to prevent the closure of the war page and the signing of a long-term peace agreement.
President Ilham Aliyev's pragmatic and forward-looking political strategy is rapidly narrowing the room for maneuver for Armenia. Provocations on the state border taking place in front of international organizations. Revenge statements are gradually losing their power of influence and attractiveness. The initiative of official Baku to enter the post-conflict stage, close the page of war and start large-scale creative work is perceived by global forces as more optimal course for cooperation. And in the process of restoration of Karabakh, Azerbaijan constantly feels the support of the region's leading countries.
At present, master plans of cities are being prepared. As part of master plans, it is planned to build schools. This month, the foundation of a school was laid in Shusha, which was destroyed by the Armenians. During the visit of my dear brother, esteemed President Recep Tayyip Erdogan, the ceremony of laying the foundation of the school was also included in the program on the initiative of the Turkish side.
Thus, Azerbaijan is moving to the second stage of strategic priorities associated with the previously occupied territories, in particular with the city of Shusha, to the restoration of cities and the creation of infrastructure. If the first stage was the liberation of the territories that had been under occupation for 30 years, the reconstruction work carried out at this stage will prepare the socio-economic and spiritual basis for the return of the population to their native places and the closest ally of our country in these areas, fraternal Turkey.
The liberation of the occupied lands of friendly and fraternal Azerbaijan with the support of our country is an opportunity to open the doors of a new period for all parties in the region, including Armenia. We hope that this opportunity will not be missed and will be used in the best possible way to ensure peace and stability in the region.
Russia also recognizes that Turkey is one of the key players in the processes taking place in the region. As Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov said in his speech at the Primakov Readings Forum, upon implementation of transport and communication projects in the region, apart from three countries, the interests of Turkey and Iran should also be taken into account, and a useful mechanism for long-term cooperation should be created. This approach actually means support for the Zangezur corridor, to which Armenia strongly opposes. Stability in the Caucasus is also extremely important for bringing the north-south and west-east transport routes into operation. It's obvious that the aggressive behavior of the Armenian side and the persistent protest against the peace agreement is connected with the obligations awaiting it. Yerevan understands that it is losing all hope in matters of the status of Karabakh and obstruction of the return of Azerbaijanis, and is sending messages to the real community about a new military escalation. The statement of official Yerevan that the delimitation and demarcation of the borders does not mean the closure of the Karabakh issue suggests the speculation around the status issue will continue for a long time. However, neither these speculations nor Sergei Lavrov's latest statement on the status will be able to provide Armenia with any positive result, even in the long term. Meanwhile, accusations against Azerbaijan are also heard at the pre-election shows in Armenia, and the main figure in them is Nikol Pashinyan. Nikol's message addressed to the leader of Azerbaijan behaving either as an altruist or as an amateur about his readiness to give up his son in exchange for the so-called prisoners of war creates the impression of cheap advertising. It is worth reminding Pashinyan once again, who is trying to raise his rating before the residents of Shirak, that Azerbaijan, unlike Armenia, which has raised terror to the level of the state policy, is not governed by the laws of jungle. Azerbaijan is a legal state, and members of the aforementioned sabotage and terrorist group will be judged within the framework of international law. From this point of view, attempts in any form to provoke official Baku to interfere in the life or death struggle for power in Yerevan is in vain.
33 villages were designed on the 70,900 hectares of the Aghdam district liberated from occupation. The current population of the area, after 27 years of occupation, is 143,925 people. The design was based on a green city, green public transport, pedestrian and bicycle paths, convenient public places, education, sports, cultural facilities, historical heritage sites, modern industrial facilities and large forests. Among the steps taken in this direction is the attraction of foreign companies.
The basis of the urban network in Agdam will be a well-set-out circular scheme of public transport to use of trams or electric trams, and this will allow residents to walk a distance of no more than 350 meters to get to any part of the city. This project is being developed by local specialists together with experts from world-renowned international companies, which will turn the local area into an internationally recognized tourism center. What can you say about cooperation with Azerbaijan, and how do you assess the business and investment climate in Azerbaijan?
In accordance with the Paris Agreement, Azerbaijan has pledged to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030 or reduce carbon dioxide emissions by 35%. Thus, we share common interests. Azerbaijan seeks to reduce its dependence on oil and gas and is investing heavily in various industries. This is a very good indicator for us to work with such a partner. We are very happy. In general, we see that Azerbaijan is turning into a business-oriented country. We are observing very positive processes. We are proud to participate in the development process in Azerbaijan. It's a great honor for us.
What projects are you working on in the region?
As you know, we have been working in Baku since 2019. In 2020, street lighting was implemented. About 35,000 illuminators have been installed in Baku. They are installed in places where there was no lighting, where they were outdated and replaced. Today, we have brought energy savings up to 55%. We're almost halving the energy consumption, and with the introduction of a control system, we will be able to achieve even more. Smart lighting is the first phase of a smart city. This is your first step in preparing a smart city program. We know that President Aliyev in the near future, both in Baku and Shusha, wants to implement the smart city project.
Signify has also created a team of designers and lighting experts to carry out works in Shusha and Agdam. The company's activities are not limited to lighting only.
We use 80% less water to increase the production of vegetables and flowers with our lighting system. We do not use any fertilizers or other means to increase the production of vegetables several times. These are organic products. It also contributes to the creation of new jobs in agriculture.
In general, new opportunities are being explored today for the development of a specialized trade sector in the area. The development of the planned industrial zone in Agdam will offer additional jobs to the tourism, education and civil service sectors.
Changes were implemented in the temporary requirements of organization of flights and passenger transportation by air in Azerbaijan. It is reported that the requirement to conduct a PCR test for COVID-19 passengers flying from Azerbaijan will be regulated by the air carrier in accordance with the rules established at the destination. Until now, passengers were allowed to fly if they passed a PCR test for COVID-19 48 hours prior to departure, with a negative test result and a certificate. The check of certificates of passengers departing from Azerbaijan was carried out by medical personnel working at the entrance to the terminals. Passenger check-in for the flight and onboarding was carried out on the basis of these certificates. This procedure has been cancelled. Now all air carriers operating flights to Azerbaijan will accept passengers on the flight under new conditions. For foreigners and stateless persons, for passengers over 18 years of age, only on the basis of a COVID-19 passport and a document confirming a negative result of a PCR test for COVID-19 issued within the 72 hours before the flight. Passengers aged 1 to 18 years old, only on the basis of a document confirming a negative result of a PCR test for COVID-19 issued within 72 hours before departure. For citizens of Azerbaijan, on the basis of a document confirming a negative result of a PCR test for COVID-19 issued 72 hours before departure. In addition, bans on the carriage of hand luggage by passengers on airplanes have been lifted in Azerbaijan. Reduce, Reuse, Recycle, Respect exhibition by Nergis Publishing House has been opened on the Baku Boulevard. It was noted at the exhibition that after the Make the Earth Smile Again exhibition held by Nergis magazine in 2019, Nergis Publishing House, together with the Ministry of Education, implemented an environmental project. Artist and sculptor Rashad Alekperov, together with the Nergis team, provided detailed information to students about the problems of global pollution and creative ways to recycle and use existing products. author of the Make the Earth Smile Again project and editor-in-chief of Nargis magazine, Nurbiya Mahmudova, got acquainted with the students' handicrafts and gave them her recommendations. A competition for the best installation on the topic of eco was announced among students of various schools and colleges. Students from the Baku European Lyceum won in the contest. The aim of the project is to educate people about environmental problems in the world and to encourage everyone to take care of the environment. It is no secret that the ecology of our planet is currently in a catastrophic state. Every day billions of people produce products from harmful, non-perishable materials, and waste falls into the sea. These wastes are damaging the marine ecosystem, said Aytan Husseinova, executive director of Nargis magazine. The Reduce, Reuse, Recycle, Respect exhibition, organized by the Nargis Publishing House, features 15 installations created by Azerbaijani sculptors from hardly recyclable materials and industrial waste. The exhibition, initiated by the editor-in-chief of Nargis magazine, Nurbiya Mahmudova, will last until August 1st. The presentation and awarding ceremony of the elected young ambassadors for the UN Sustainable Development Goals took place. Deputy Prime Minister Ali Ahmedov spoke on the significant role of the young ambassadors in correctly conveying information about Azerbaijan to the international community and promotion of our country. Resident representative of the United Nations Development Programme, Alessandro Fracassetti, in his turn noted that speeches of young ambassadors in mass media, presentations and trainings at various institutions, participation in regional, national and international events are envisaged. Deputy Minister of Youth and Sports, Intigam Babayev, Rector of the Academy of Physical Education and Sports, Fuat Hajiev, and Deputy of the Milli Meclis, Mazahir Efendiyev, talk about the responsibilities that lies on the youth. It should be noted that as a result of transparent elections, another 17 young ambassadors for sustainable development goals have been elected. 75 infections with the novel coronavirus were registered in Azerbaijan. 281 people recovered after treatment and were released home. 3 people who earlier tested positive for COVID-19 died. The overall confirmed cases in Azerbaijan have reached 334,992, with 327,907 recoveries and 4,951 deaths. The number of active infections is 2,134. To detect new infection cases over the past day, 8,618 tests and overall 3,597,849 tests have been conducted in Azerbaijan, the task force under the Cabinet of Ministers reported. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.